Hello, 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 Facebook. So great to be here with you. I'm here with my sweet little kitty friend, my new little kitten. And he's been such a delight. And he will likely be crawling all over me during this Facebook Live, just forewarning. So he likes to nurse on my neck because he was so little when he was rescued. He was abandoned, that he likes to nurse on my neck because he misses his mommy, his real mommy. So you're going to watch him do that as I'm talking. Hopefully it's not too distracting. So my name is Kristen Grace McGarry, and I'm a health and lifestyle alchemist. I'm an acupuncturist, an advanced craniosacral therapist, and somato-emotional release therapist. And I'm certified in functional medicine and homeopathy, and I'm an author and an international speaker. And today, this evening, I am very excited to connect with you about cholesterol. So there is a heck of a lot going on in our world, and I'm doing this Facebook Live series on all things health and wellness during this 2020 pandemic, because I believe health is really up for people right now, and people are struggling with health and topics around health and well-being and immune function and nutrition and self-care, and there's a lot going on, and people are having a hard time. And so I'm committed to doing this Facebook Live series to empower you and inspire you around health. And so tonight I wanted to speak about cholesterol. Cholesterol has a pretty bad rap, and it shouldn't. Cholesterol is actually very, very important for your body and your health. Your brain needs cholesterol. It's made up of cholesterol. It's so important. So if you're taking certain cholesterol lowering drugs, it can have a very negative impact on your brain. So it's really important to do your homework and understand what you're taking and why you're taking it. So let's talk a little bit about cholesterol on a lab. So one of my specialties is functional blood chemistry analysis, and I see this often. People come in and they'll have elevated cholesterol, and they may not be on medication yet because maybe they didn't go to their doctor, or they refused medication, or they thought, oh, it's not that high, I'm not going to deal with this yet. But the problem is that it's not usually a true cholesterol issue. I also have seen lots of patients over the years who come in and they're taking cholesterol medication and their cholesterol is too low. And that's not okay either. So your cholesterol can be too low. It can also be too high. More often than not, when it's too high, it's usually not a true cholesterol issue. More often than not, I find cholesterol gets elevated due to insulin resistance. This is a precursor. When we start seeing cholesterol, triglycerides, LDL elevating, we can look at other markers in a comprehensive lab like hemoglobin A1C and your blood sugar and electrolytes and some other pieces to understand if it's actually a symptom of insulin resistance. And in that case, taking a cholesterol drug is not going to address the root of the issue at all. And then you're taking this drug, this pharmaceutical, and there are loads of other effects. I won't even call them side effects because really they are other effects of taking those cholesterol drugs. Even if you have legitimately high cholesterol, there can be other effects, and there are other ways to get your cholesterol down. So another piece around cholesterol that I want to share with you that was a real shock to me as a healthcare provider was that cholesterol, the standard level of cholesterol on your lab test, the acceptable range used to be up to 400. Now it's up to 200. It dropped, and guess why? I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, people, but this is just a fact. It dropped when the statin drugs came on the market. The pharmaceutical companies actually are part of regulating lab reference ranges, the standards of lab reference ranges, and they conveniently decided, oh, 400 is too high for cholesterol now that we have this great drug to sell. Let's go ahead and lower the standard lab markers so that, oh, we'll just say healthy cholesterol needs to be under 200, and if it's not under 200, we're going to give this new statin drug. Whoa. So please be an informed consumer. Talk to a very trained healthcare provider who understands how to look at your cholesterol lab, which should be more than just total cholesterol. We should have at least triglycerides, at least LDL, at least HDL, at least VLDL. Some of these cholesterol HDL ratios, we should have a full cholesterol panel. And it's so important to work with someone who understands how to read it, not according to the sick reference ranges, which are the reference ranges on your regular lab are based on mostly sick people. No, that's not good enough for you. I believe you deserve better. And so find someone who has healthy reference ranges based in functional medicine, based on health and wellness, and find someone who understands how to work with the whole panel and look for patterns, not just one isolated marker. So important. If you're interested, I'd be honored to look at your lab and share what I see with you. You can find me on guthappyketo.com, guthappyketo.com. That's my website. And please reach out to me, direct message me, fill out my form on my website, and we can talk about your lab. Okay, let's go back to cholesterol. More often than not, high cholesterol is the precursor of insulin resistance. It's showing me insulin resistance is present, but you don't have a diagnosed disease yet. That's great. That's a great time to catch it. Sometimes people who are already on cholesterol drugs have insulin resistance, and I can still see that in all these other markers in the lab. So then we can better guide them. And guess what happens when you deal with insulin resistance? Cholesterol comes down to healthy levels. So what's healthy? I say anything from about 150 to 200. Now I'm talking US readings here on a lab. This is really important because if you're in another country and you're watching this, you might have different numbers, reference ranges. So go ahead and reach out to me, and I can help with that. Now, something that I see all the time with labs is people will have very high HDL. So let's talk a little bit about HDL and LDL. Western docs say LDL is bad cholesterol and HDL is quote unquote good cholesterol. This is only a partial truth. It's not 100% accurate. A lot of Western medical docs and even functional docs and even naturopaths will say, oh no, if you have high HDL, it balances out the LDL, the bad cholesterol. It's like it makes up for it. If you have high HDL, then having some high cholesterol or high triglycerides or high LDL, it'll help. It makes up for it. Only partially true. Actually, from a functional perspective, if you have HDL that's over 60 or 65 and you're not an endurance athlete, well, even if you are an endurance athlete, it's a marker of inflammation. It doesn't mean it's good for you. And a lot of people miss this. They're like, no, my HDL is 89 and it's balancing out my LDL and my cholesterol. So then my cholesterol HDL ratio looks really healthy, and it's deceiving. It's not actually true. It's a marker of inflammation. And this is so important, and nobody's talking about it, and I really want you to have this information because I think it's empowering for you to understand what's really going on inside your body. And I think it's important for you to have a look at what's really going on inside your body and take the guesswork out of your healthcare and out of your cholesterol panel. Okay, the next thing I see a lot are low triglycerides. Right. Now, yes, it's true. Some people will have high. I see that too. But there are a good number of people that I've seen in the last year that had low triglycerides and no one talked to them about it. Ugh. Let me tell you about low triglycerides, my Facebook friend. Low triglycerides often means you're not digesting your fats well. And if you're not digesting your fats well, it's going to cause you other problems. And your gallbladder's not going to be happy, your liver's not going to be happy, your gut may not be happy. You might have lack of enzymes, you might not have enough hydrochloric acid in your stomach to digest things. You might not be chewing properly, you might not be eating properly. There are all sorts of reasons. Now, if you're vegan and you never touch a fat, then yes, I could see triglycerides being low, but too low is not healthy. Very important. So, working with someone who understands what are the healthy reference ranges for triglycerides and understands how to do a comprehensive lab on you to look at all the other patterns and markers and address nutrition and lifestyle to understand the root of why your triglycerides are low or high is so important. It's so important. So if you don't have someone you really trust, please reach out to me. I would love to look at labs with you and really empower you, looking inside your body, taking the guesswork out. Okay, so that's a lot on cholesterol. I mentioned that cholesterol, your brain is made up of cholesterol. And so if you're taking a lot of drugs to lower your cholesterol, it can impact your brain. It can impact how your body works. I've worked with some patients who were on statin drugs like Lipitor and had a lot of quote unquote other effects and muscle cramps and like a lot of pain. It was really, really yucky. And when we addressed what was going on with their cholesterol, you know, maybe it was 240, it's 40 points high. And in cholesterol, I'm not necessarily freaking out over that because I'm looking at the whole panel in their labs and I can see all the other markers of inflammation and I do a full assessment and consult with them so I understand their history and their nutrition. And all of that is so important when analyzing what's going on truly with cholesterol instead of guessing and throwing a drug at them, which is often not appropriate. Oh, Lisa, hi. Someone's asking me about the kitty. So I'm going to show you the kitty. In the beginning of my Facebook Live, I did a little kitty viewing. There's the kitty. Say hi, kitty. Say hi. He says, I want my mommy. He's nursing on my arm right now. He's sucking on my arm because he was abandoned by his mommy. And he's he's small. He's a little pequeño kitty. Right now, he still doesn't have a name. I'm calling him my calabacita, my little pumpkin. But we're working on a name. It's coming through soon. I can feel it, but there's no rush. He's just my little pumpkin for now. Thanks, Lisa, for asking. Okay, any questions about cholesterol? Any questions about cholesterol? Go ahead and type them into the comment box now. I'm going to speak about food while you bring me some questions on cholesterol if you have some. Okay, there is a belief that if you eat a lot of fat, your cholesterol will go up. It's only partially true. It's true. If you only eat, spoonfuls of coconut oil, you're going to notice an elevation in your cholesterol, likely. But if you have a balanced diet, eating fat should not raise your cholesterol. Now, there are a couple of exceptions. There are some genetic SNPs, some things in people's genes that can make them have a tendency to have higher cholesterol and not necessarily do fats well. And so it's important to understand all those pieces and work with a healthcare provider who really gets it and isn't going to just throw drugs at you and will work with your nutrition in a proper way. Now, what can raise cholesterol are a lot of grains and sugars. And the reason being is because those foods often cause insulin resistance. And increases in cholesterol can be the first sign of insulin resistance. So if you're doing a bunch of fruit, if you're doing sugar, if you're doing grains, I should not just limit it to that. Really, it's carbohydrates can very much raise your cholesterol. And that's not being spoken about very much, but that is the truth. If you have someone who has high cholesterol, 9 times out of 10, you get them off of the grains and the sugars and the carbs, and you give them some healthy fats and a ton of vegetables, their cholesterol is going to come on down. It really is, even if they're still eating some animal products. So it's important to really have an individualized approach. Lisa's writing to me. Hi again. My kitty's name is Halo. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Lisa's asking about stress. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Great point. Stress can elevate your cholesterol as well, and it can decrease immune function. It can really impact how you're digesting and absorbing your nutrients as well. So it's really important to deal with stress and find people who understand how to deal with stress. Please, please, please. DM me, send me a message, get on my website, send me a note from there, fill out my optimal wellness consultation form. Let's get on a call if you have questions. I'm here to help you during this time. It's really important to dial this stuff in. I believe that the pandemic is actually an opportunity to level up our health, that we can actually emerge from this pandemic healthier and happier than when we began. I believe this. And I'm working with patients almost daily, doing Zoom calls and coaching them, and even doing some energetic work. I have a very strong background in Western medicine and in functional medicine and in Asian medicine. And I also have a very strong spiritual side that I don't talk about very much publicly. But I'm also a medical intuitive, and I can see things and feel things and hear ancestors, and I bring that into my sessions as well. And so if you're curious about your health and you have questions, or if you're having symptoms or stress, then please reach out. I'm here to help. I have a special offer that I'm giving people one-on-one Zoom sessions for a very, very special price, $197. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me, and I'll go ahead and put a special link for that offer into one of the comment boxes when I'm off of this video, and make sure you have that. So if you're interested, you can reach out. Lisa's saying, I'm bad for sugar in my coffee. Is raw sugar better? Thank you, Lisa, for saying this and bringing this up. I really appreciate it. So first of all, Lisa, I never think you're bad. And I don't associate any habits you have as being bad. Is that habit of putting sugar in your coffee optimal for your body? No. Is raw sugar even better? No, it's not. So consider monk fruit, consider bocha sweet, consider eventually weaning off the coffee and changing over to green tea or mate tea. These teas have higher antioxidants. Coffee is very acidic, very hard on your stomach. It actually eats away at the lining of your stomach, which takes 48 hours to regrow. It's hard on your liver, and it's hard on your kidneys. I'm sorry, I understand it's hard to receive that message sometimes. So Lisa, I'm on your side. I believe you can do it. I would start to wean off the coffee. And you could even do half caffeinated, half decaf, and start to wean off. And to get off the sweet stuff, even sugar in your coffee, and upgrade to healthier sweeteners that are low glycemic index, such as monk fruit and bocha sweet. All right, Lisa, what else? She says, yes, it's a wake-up call for a lot of people. Yes, that this is a healing time. Yes, thank you, Lisa. Yes. She's dialed in. Proud of you, Lisa. You got this. You're going to emerge from this pandemic healthier and stronger. Yes, this is the goal. We can do this. Awesome. Are there any other cholesterol questions out there? This has been my Facebook Live on cholesterol. If you're joining me late, please listen to the replay, talking about nutrition, talking about lab markers. What do they all mean? What's good? What's not so healthy? Yes, Lisa, you're so welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. And if anyone out there that you're aware of is in need of some help right now, do they have symptoms? Are they worried about their immune system? Do they have an autoimmune issue? Do they have gas and bloating? Are they wanting to shed some excess tissue, some fat around the middle? Are they curious what's really going on in their body? Do they want to get to the root of symptoms? Then I'm here to help. And I'm here to guide, empower, and inspire you around all things health and really put on my health detective hat and get to the bottom of symptoms that you might be experiencing. I have this really special offer that we just launched on Facebook. Normally a one-on-one session with me is $497, and because of the pandemic, I'm offering it for $197. That's an hour with me over Zoom, one-on-one. You get my full attention, all of my wisdom, 23 plus years of clinical experience and education to help you get to the next level of your health so you emerge from this pandemic healthier and happier. I am going to put the link to that special offer into the chat box, so please reach out. I really look forward to speaking with you and empowering you around your health and even your cholesterol. All right, many blessings, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.